today's episode of PJ and the Beard, you may ask, why am I holding these things? I'm holding these because we're going to compare some things that we got in some time ago with our Zounds library card. And before we get into that, I'm going to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, clicking on the notification bell. That way you know what we're up to. And again, as I always say, your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry. And this is another thing from Zounds help make possible.
Right. So we did videos on the Duke of Tone. We did videos on the MXR Timmy. So both MXR pedals. Mm-hmm. There are affiliate links to both those down below. We just like to mention that Zounds has been really kind to send these over and let us hang on to them for quite a while to make all these videos. So as a thank you to them, and it helps us out a little bit too. So anyway, beyond that, we said when we did these videos initially, we were like, let's let the pedals stand on their own. Right. Let's just do them. And we'll come back and maybe compare them to the originals because, well, we might have them. And then Paul Ewing yelled at us for not comparing them, right out of the gate, which we said we were going to do. So, here we go. Here it is. Yeah,
we're men of our word.
Here we go. So today is simply about, we put them down, tried to get them to sound the same. Mm-hmm. Picked one, made it sound the way we wanted to, tried to get the other one in the ballpark. So jumping right into clips, I did the first clip. I had the MXR Timmy, the switchback, mm-hmm, with the Timmy 15th anniversary version 3. So not an OG, right, but an OG, mm-hmm, right? And then both of those on all the clips, yeah, running out into the Echo Tour from DSL Effects. So all right, to start off, put all the knobs at noon and then try to get them to sound the same. See what you think. So played that clip with the PRS McCarty from 2000 through, and all these clips also Tyler JT22. So I had that in the middle position, which is the low gain, mm-hmm, symmetrical. The other Timmy was on the low gain, and then inside there's a symmetry switch inside we can talk more about later, but that was also symmetrical. You then, for your clip, you know what you did? You want me to? Yeah,
I went with the high gain, right?
Right. Yeah. We flipped it symmetry, kept it on the symmetrical, not a symmetrical clipping, not asymmetrical. Just flip both of them over to the higher gain.
But went high gain, but then grabbed the PRS SE Silver Sky and didn't play anything like super gainy. But this is what I played.
Both symmetricals, high gain and low gain. Then we took these, we flipped it, the MXR one to all the way to the, if you're looking at the pedal to the left, that's going to be asymmetrical clipping. Mm-hmm. And it's a medium gain setting. And then on the real Timmy, I'm sorry, they're both real Timmys.
The bigger one.
Yeah. On the original, let's call it the original, the OG Timmy. We went inside the box, flipped it to asymmetrical clipping, but you don't have that medium gain, you still only have your lower high. So I think I put it on low gain with the idea that we could just push the drive if we had to. And grabbed SG Junior from Zounds also on the library card. Oh man, it just keeps sticking around, doesn't it? Sound a little bit like this.
Concludes the Timmy, which we have gotten over our intimidation, as I very badly punly like to say. I just made up words. So now we're moving on to the King of Tone, and we could use this one, but we didn't because it's not the right color.
Yeah, see, Pat has a thing. He's like...
They're not even mine, and I'm flexing. Isn't that great?
So we have Duke of Tone. We're moving on. Duke of Tone here, King of Tone here. I believe the red side is the high gain. The yellow side is the high gain distortion, overdrive. I did try to go back through old emails and make sure what I ordered. I think both of them are the same. I don't know. This was like 2015. I think that one was 2019. It takes a while in between. You got to be willing to wait. So, you first.
Yeah.
Low gain,
and decided to go with mini humbuckers and the Epiphone, and tried to find something that could go back and forth on. That was always a challenge in these clips, and so this is what I played.
Are both on the high gain side of this. I wanted to explore the volume knob a little bit. So one of the things I like is being able to roll the volume knob back, having the guitar clean up. Kind of out of character, grabbed a Strat, although I've been using the Strat a lot over about the last, 2 years. And really, don't tell Brian Landreth, but starting to love it. And plus, I can never grab the SE because Pat Bogarts it. So, we have high gain, doing a lot with rolling the volume back to clean it up, both sides, so you can see how they sound, how they both clean up.
All right, so that was the comparison. High gain with single coils, cleaning up with a volume knob. I stayed on the high gain side, and nothing screams high gain than a Hollowbody PRS. So I grabbed the Beard 2001 and took it for a spin and played this. So as we attempt to wind down this dual video, if you will, so what we wanted to do tonight was take these newer pedals and compare them to the originals. And I just want to reiterate that the new pedals were done in conjunction with the designers of the two original pedals, which was a really cool collaboration, which is really interesting for those guys to do that. Have built these high-end boutique pedals, and now they collaborate with MXR to make things that are affordable and attainable for everyone to have a level of experience with their work.
Right. It will be interesting to see if there's future ones like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I can think of some pedal builders who I would love to see hook up with MXR and put out some of their unique circuits to the masses too. So the final thing, if you notice, we kind of rush through that. We're like, okay, here it is. Here's what we did. It was high gain, low gain, blah, 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 go, clips. Because we didn't want to kind of color. We wanted you just to think about it. Right. We were trying to get them to sound similar. In some cases, we were like, wow, that's so close, I can't tell the difference in the room. In other cases, we're like, there's a thing that we can hear. Mm-hmm. So I think the final thing for us to do is each give our 2 cents. Yeah. And then wrap this up. So do you want to go first?
I guess I'll go first because my 2 cents might not even be understandable because it's hard to fathom, right? We've been on there for 2.5 hours tonight, and we've gone back and forth with these pedals. And, I have to say that for the originals, the OGs as we were calling them all night, there is something to them. There's some frequency range, there's something that I can't put my finger on that I can't quite coax out of the new pedals. Now, I could plug those new pedals in and dial up something I really like. And then we A-beat it. There was just something different. And in this journey on this YouTube channel, I've been challenged more to find something that works in the mix. So what my ear always naturally hears may not be the best situation in the mix. And I think with a transparent overdrive and the King of Tone, there's something in there that sits in a mix. And so when we're down here in the room and we're not in a mix, it's a little, I know we said this before, there's something to it. I'm not saying it's a mythical thing and it's this certain diode or whatever, but there's just some difference even in these two that the original creators were involved in redoing. There's something in the originals. I'm not saying it's better necessarily, but there is something there.
It's funny because I think we really want really bad to say there's not.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's like kind of, and so is like, I feel like if we say there is, people are gonna be like, oh, you guys are all right, whatever. And if we say there's not, the other people are like, oh, there was. And I like how you said you don't think it's not necessarily better.
No.
It's just, there were moments where you could get the two to sound almost identical. Mm-hmm. And then there were moments where you couldn't.
True.
And like, there was something, neither one of, I mean, we were like arguing, we were like, what is it? There's like, is it highs? Is it lows? Is it tones? Is it the gain? There's like something under there. Maybe if you go back and watch somewhere in the video, you'll hear it. I have contended since day one, the King of Tone, for me, I plug it in by myself into an amp in a room like this, and I'm like, it's an overdrive. It's nothing special. But then I plug it in a live situation with a bass player and a drummer and another guitar player. I'm like, oh, now I get it. Right. In fact, the first time I plugged it in, I was like, I don't get the hype. Mm-hmm. Then I took it and plugged it in live, and I'm like, I get the hype. I haven't played the Timmy enough to be able to say if that's true or not.
Right.
But I guess, and then the last thing I'll say is, if you're going, is whatever the price is on the Duke of Tone,
$150, I think,
150-ish, is that worth it, or do I hold out for 4 years? Because it is like a 4 or 5 year waiting list now.
It only gets bigger. Yeah.
And pay twice as much, or do I skip this and go to like Reverb and spend like $800 so I can get a King of Tone now? Having both, playing both, buy the MXR. Get on the waiting list.
Play the MXR for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, go sign the waiting list and play. Go sign the waiting list. Don't buy the cheap clones that are out there.
Right.
Mike was involved in this. Buy this. Don't, same with the Timmy. Don't buy some of the cheap clones that are out there if you can't find an original one. These are really good. They dial in really quick.
I think they're like $130, I think.
Yeah.
They're
not the same?
No, I think I looked them up right before we went. I think there's about $20 difference. But you can look at our affiliate links and go figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I can't get over it. I mean, they sound great. They're I think MXR did it right. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're going to plug either one in and be like, oh, what is that? I knew it. They said there was something missing and I knew there was. I don't think you're going to be like that. No. It's not until we put them like literally side by side and start turning knobs and we're like, there's a little bit of a difference here. Right. And I there was a video I watched where somebody did the Duke and the King together and they really like deep dive, put it in the mix and deep dive on what the subtle differences are. And at the end of the day, I think their opinion was there's some subtle differences. Mm-hmm. You're not going to notice them.
Yeah, sure. They're great. And certain things in either pedal might resonate really well with your playing style, your guitar choice, your pickup choice, your amp choice. Are you a volume guy? Whatever. We are who we are, right? And so we approached it this way. And again, once we got over this whole mystique of like, wow, these are really like they have a whole thing about them. This easier to dial in than this. Mm-hmm. This had something going on though, right, that this didn't have. But I thought this was easier to. All right, we're down the rabbit hole. Well, and what are your thoughts? I mean, after hearing them, maybe you've played them. What do you think? It'd be interesting to hear. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, our thoughts are just collectively right. They're good. Yeah, I've enjoyed our. I don't know what we're calling this video, but I've been calling them the Mythical Minis all day, and I really enjoyed our comparisons to the OGs of the Mythical Minis. Pat wants to keep them. I do. You might never be able to have too much gear, but you can't afford every piece of gear. So, hey, thanks for watching. Clicking that subscribe button, hitting the notification bell, leaving comments. Anytime you interact with the show, it is what helps us communicate with great companies and let us bring this stuff in to share with you, like Pat said at the beginning. And I think with that, we're there. I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. Maybe we should take the Mythical Minis for a spin. Probably, that'd be a good idea.